Get ready to have your mind blown. It's Smacking Off the Podcast.
Please welcome Shannon Russell Tosmaki of the podcast.
Roll Tide, what's up?
Hey, I just literally came across a post that says if you want to send a get well card to Tua, they're giving an address to the Alabama Athletic Department with the address where to send the cards. So that was pretty neat.
Yeah, he is in Houston at the moment, but you can send your cards. You can send them to me.
Yeah.
Send cash. He needs cash right now more than ever.
I want the best for Tua. I really do. I don't think that he's built for this game at this level. And I
think there's something wrong there. I think he's not a small guy.
No, I know he's not.
So I don't understand it. I don't,
He's hobbling around on 2 fake ankles right now. I mean, there's something's got to give at some point in time.
2 fake ankles, but that ain't even the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what really worries me? Look, and I really hope he makes and I'm not smacking when I say this. I know it's smacking off the podcast, but I'm not going to smack at the moment. In all sincerity, I hope he makes a full recovery and he returns to the game. But if his injury is anywhere similar to Bo Jackson was a big guy. He was a beast. He was solid. And if he couldn't recover from that, I just don't know. But we have advanced in medical technology. That was, in the early 90s. We're talking almost 20 years later, or over 20 years later, whatever it was, that he finally, quit. But it is what it is. These injuries are
damn near 30 years later.
Yeah, I'm not even looking at exactly when, but I know it's been a long time. That he played at Auburn and played football and baseball. I mean, he was not small, but he's not built like Bo Jackson.
No.
So that's the only thing that makes me wonder. I really hope he does come back and play next year. If we don't have a quarterback like Joe Burrow again, that's going to be tough to really, go against him and with the numbers he puts up for Alabama. But I hope he does. I hope he comes back and that he didn't throw away his career, because that would be a shame. He's probably the best quarterback you'll ever had. I know some people want to say Joe Namath.
Well, and look, and Saban said it himself, and even Tua, nobody expects to actually go in and get injured. Nobody thinks about that, especially if you have a winning mindset. If you have a winning mindset, you're going to complete the game and you're going to do the very best you can during the game for your team. That's your expectations going into the game. That's your coach's expectation going into it. And there is a fair amount of trolling that comes with everybody being critical of Saban's decision to allow him to enter the game. Now, that being said, it's still, as Alabama fans and seeing Tua have 2 different ankle injuries. Yeah, there's – go ahead.
There's a lot of people that's criticizing him for it. And I'm not going to lie. At first I was like, why'd he put him in the game?
I did too.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. I was shocked. I was like, well, then they'll put him in for a quarter or something like that and eventually take him out after we're up 20 points. But no, they kept him in.
I don't know if it's fair to cast blame, but I feel like, of course, those kids, they said, well, he wanted most of it. I had this discussion with some Bama fans that got mad at me, and they said, well, he wanted to play. He didn't force him. I said, okay, every kid on that bench wants to play. Your second and third and fourth string wants to play football too. But sometimes it takes. I think he wanted to prove something, and I don't think Saban intentionally did it and not care. That's not what I'm saying. But I think somebody should have said, look, you might need to heal. You need to sit the bench. I think they needed to reassure him that he's done a great job and he's proved himself. He has nothing to prove. I wasn't there for the conversation. None of us were. But I feel like somebody should have said, because when you're 20 years old, you think you're invincible. And but he had 5 months to go before the NFL draft to make millions.
Yep.
Somebody didn't sit down with him and really think this through. That's just what I think. I mean, I'm trying to be critical. The fact of the matter is it's over and done. We need to pray for him. He needs to get better. But we need to learn from this, because he's thrown away a huge opportunity. And I feel like if we don't learn from this, it's a travesty. It's a travesty. They had a kid it was a little junior college, but he died. The coaches knew he had a concussion. They sent him back there anyway, and he died. Now somebody's going to be responsible for that, and we get so wrapped up in the game and wanting to win that we forget these kids are human beings. They're not built like a robot. They're going to get hurt, and I just feel like he was limping on the field after the LSU game, and I was giving him props because I thought, wow, look at him limping, and he still put 4 touchdowns on us and still put up over 400 yards. I mean, that was tremendous, and one of the biggest games of his career. He still put up 4 touchdowns, but he was limping off the field a week ago. And I feel like that should have – I don't care what the doctor says. When your kid's limping off the field, you need to say, hey, let him rest. I mean, the important game left for y'all is the Iron Bowl,
What do you do? What do you do a couple days later, though, when the kid's not limping anymore and he's showing up at practice and – kid's ready to ball, and he's throwing the ball like he's supposed to. He's moving exactly like he's supposed to. You've been in contact with the doctors. The doctors are all giving the thumbs up. Nobody's pushing the issue because
and I've had people say that. Here's my answer to that. If you want to know, and I agree with you. However, it's still a gamble. It's still a risk. You're 5 months from the NFL. Do you risk injuring him again? Because it's a gamble. We knew putting him out there, we're risking him injuring, if not another.
But just as well as I do, 40 or 50 years ago, we would have never had this conversation. It would have been an issue of the man's toughness, of the young man's toughness. And he was playing hurt, and he went and he insisted on playing hurt, and coach put him in. And he lost the game, but it don't matter because he was a man, because he stood up and this, that. And you understand what I'm saying, right? The narrative as far as that has changed dramatically. It really has.
But people say he wanted to play. It's still the coach's decision, and I think I'm not trying to criticize him. I understand what the doctor said, but
that's the supposition that I was making to you just a moment ago. Was that you're getting an okay from the doctors. The kid is really insistent on playing. You're looking at him, watching him in practice, and he's not making any. There's not any indication that he is still hurt. That the surgery was successful. Yeah, he got a little wobbly down.
He has already had 3 injuries? The knee, both ankles. He's already had 3. Why would you risk another 5 months in the NFL? That just isn't smart. I don't know.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, at the same time, if you don't see that he's injured and everybody's telling you that he's okay,
but you're risking. But still, you're risking.
But anytime there's an injury, you can play the what if game.
And that's what I'm saying. You go and hold him out for that game, but how long do you hold him out? And the kid's sitting on the sideline, and look, again, this is one other thing that wasn't 30 or 40 years ago, and that's something called the transfer portal.
And here's another thing.
And that's that right there. And I got to stop there before you say anything else, because the transfer portal is making a lot of decisions for coaches when a player is really insistent on the way that they want to be coached and what they want to do. And you have somebody that is pretty much the heart and soul of what Alabama's done this season.
Portal when come on, he's a junior about to be in the NFL draft, and he's the starting quarterback. If he was your backup, but I mean, come on. I mean,
I think one of the most.
But you want to go ahead and endanger. If this kid is telling you that we're good, the doctor's telling you we're good. You go out there, all of the assistants, anybody that has anything to do with the offense, quarterback coaches, etc. No, he looks great. Everything's looking good. I think we can start him this week.
There is one important detail to this that we have not mentioned.
But how do you know? How do you know all that? How do you know that they didn't pay the doctor money to say, hey?
Because they don't pay all that money. They don't pay all that money to Nick Saban for supposition and guessing. That's pretty much what it is. I mean, he had a decision to make. He made the decision. It is what it is.
LSU players that were injured, Arden Key, for example, several of them that we kept out of the bowl game, and probably lost in Notre Dame because we had key players that had just recovered from an injury, and they weren't risking their NFL career for LSU, and they sat.
Yeah, and
Arden Key was supposed to go first round. Okay.
Remember when Clowney sat out at South Carolina? Remember the narrative that was around that?
Yep.
Oh, he's just a big ass pussy. I can't believe that. I can't believe that he would do his team like that. He has just been said just because he wants to make a little extra money in the NFL draft. So I mean, which narrative am I supposed to run with here?
I'm just saying, dude. But
There's
You
one
know what I'm
there's
saying?
one narrative that we have totally
tell
ignored.
me the difference. Tell me the difference. Arden Key was supposed to be drafted #1. I know y'all know who Arden Key
Well, the
is.
difference is probably that
Yeah, we're talking about Tua though.
the
And
difference is probably the
He
player
was supposed
itself.
to go first round.
Tua didn't,
Supposed to go first round.
and
No
he didn't
difference.
break his ankle
And he
either.
had a
I mean,
left- he
this
had
was a
one
completely
injury.
different
I
injury.
think the
It had
difference is the players themselves. But here's one thing that we're not mentioning.
So you're telling me he didn't feel pressured at all to get out there on that field and risk millions of dollars?
Against
He didn't
Mississippi
feel no
State,
pressure.
absolutely not.
No. What he was wanting to do was pad his Heisman stats. I already know that. Come on now, that's an easy one. That's so easy to figure out. It's not even funny. And you being an LSU fan should know why.
Why would you care about the Heisman of the NFL? Why would
Because he's a young man looking for trophies. That's what they all do. Come on now.
Well, he's in fourth,
You were
he's in
young
fourth
once.
position.
You were young once and wanted praise and accolades
I'm
for
getting
what you
this.
were doing.
God damn it, I'm getting this in.
Go,
at
yeah,
some
go
point.
ahead, Doug.
This injury had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with his ankle injury.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I know
he
that.
could have been
I know that.
he could have been
But you
completely
can't-
healthy.
But that's what I'm saying. You know that, but you're arguing the fact that
No.
Saban should have kept him out because
Okay.
why would he risk damaging that ankle, and his ankle didn't get
Okay,
damaged.
but
This was
hear me out.
completely
Do you agree? If you watch the games, the last two games, I think he was slower, and I think he couldn't run as fast, get away from people tackling him because of the ankle wasn't completely healed.
Either that or it was mental, because I mean it does something to you.
He was limping off the field a week ago, and you compensate for that. Think about when you've ever hurt a toe or an ankle or whatever. If y'all ever had injuries, I was an athlete. Believe me, I know. And when you're if you're uncomfortable, or they had him all taped up.
This conversation's
yeah,
injured
it's
me.
mental. but
Can we
at the same time,
fire Saban now and get away with it? Is that what you're
He
saying?
wasn't 100%.
Yeah.
So you risked him for being re-injured because he wasn't 100% to guard himself to begin
And all
with.
that
That's
little
what I think.
clapping you do in between, that's so fucking retarded and gay, dude. You're like a little child
Why are
on
you pulling him
Facebook with a new toy,
You
dude.
understand what I'm saying?
I
If
do-
you got
I do.
An ankle that's not his ankle was not 100%. True or false? True or false?
I don't know.
I don't know the
Because
number.
I
The
heard
numbers
Bama-
that he put up.
I don't think it should have
The
been.
numbers he put up. It doesn't seem
I
like
had
his
Bama
ankle was
fans
affecting
tell
him at
me
all.
That y'all would have beat LSU if Tua was healthy. I had 90% of Bama fans throw that in my face.
I really don't
that
know.
y'all would've won.
I'm not going to
he
say
threw-
Then
that.
all of a sudden, Tua's healthy a week later.
Never heard that
from
from me. He threw for 400 yards. I mean,
He was 100% against
No,
Clemson.
his,
Clemson.
his hurt ankle didn't
Y'all
affect
wouldn't
him much
answer my
in the
You
LSU
wouldn't
game.
answer my tags.
You know.
Y'all hid like y'all try to accuse everybody else. of?
No,
Y'all
nobody hid. There
They
just
hid
wasn't
the
nothing to
Tigers.
talk about. It's like you were beating a dead horse.
Yeah, this is us hiding right now
It don't
when we brought
matter.
you to talk to
said
us on the
You
podcast.
lost after talking shit. You said shit.
I was talking shit. Compared to you, nobody talks
Y'all
shit.
hid. Y'all hid like two crybabies. And so you
Crybabies.
didn't get to hear me. But
We're
most
hiding.
Bama
We're hiding
fans
right
said,
now.
"Oh, Tua would have been healthy. We would have beat y'all."
I didn't
Now,
say
all of a
that.
sudden, a week
Hey,
later,
show me
we
where I
lost.
said Shannon. Show me where I said that, please.
I
Because I
really,
sure as hell never made that comment.
I encourage everybody to go back to YouTube and listen to our podcast that we did while we were hiding the day after Alabama lost to LSU. That was us
Wait,
hiding right there.
repeat
So
that. You were what?
I want
Back up a minute. I want to hear that again. You were what?
I want everybody to go back to our YouTube page. We have a YouTube page, Smacking Off the Podcast, and we archive all of our shows. And I want us to go back and when we hit,
No, you didn't have it with me.
remember
You
when we
haven't
did not
talked
do
to
the
me since you
podcast?
lost.
Remember when we did not do the podcast after
Yes.
the Bama LSU game?
Mhm.
Excuse me. YouTube says something different. YouTube says that we did a podcast.
Yeah, well, we recorded
We-
You
that.
didn't include me. You
We
didn't
actually-
include me.
Well, we
and
didn't-
I told Dub
We
before
were
the game,
completely
I
booked
want a
up. We
special
couldn't get
show
you.
after the
That's
game, no
why I
matter
put
what
you
the
in tonight.
outcome.
Yeah.
That's why we gave you tonight.
We talked to you the day, we
Y'all
talked
had
to you
get
right
that
before the
salt
show.
out of your
Shannon,
throat. You had to get
one
the salt
one
out of
question,
your
and I want you to
throat.
be completely honest. Can Alabama fire Saban now and get away with it?
Can what?
Can
What?
Alabama
What?
fire Saban over this thing?
We can afford the buyout. Trust
Because
me.
No,
say,
I
he
wouldn't
should have
fire
never
Saban.
had him out
That's
there,
not what I'm
Shannon. You're
saying.
right.
There is so much
Can,
money.
can Alabama
Why
fire
are y'all so
Saban?
black and white about everything? I didn't say fire the man.
Okay.
I said learn from it.
I think we need
Learn
to.
from this.
Can we at least throw a brick through his window?
But no, but at least tell me what is the difference. Y'all, let me finish
Breaking
off the
news:
conversation.
Shannon
Tell me
Russell
the
says
difference.
that we
You
need
said
to
the difference
fire
is the
Nick
players.
Saban right
I
now.
don't believe that. Tua's not dumb.
Right. I think Tua made the call. I mean, I think that.
No.
I do too.
Who tells Saban what to do? Y'all talk out of both sides of y'all's mouth.
I don't
Who
know.
tells Nick Saban what to do?
You're saying
Nobody.
y'all.
No, they didn't.
Nobody.
You're
Look,
saying y'all, but are you
I'm
gonna?
not. I'm not proposing that Tua told Nick Saban anything.
The
I'm
only one
proposing
tells
that
Nick
Tua
Saban what to do
wanted
is
something,
Gary Saban,
and his
and I
head
did.
coach, who he has done quite a bit for this season, I think his head coach relented and let him play because
No, nobody
all
tells Nick
indication,
Saban what to do.
all
Nobody
indications. You're absolutely right. Nobody tells Nick Saban what to do, but I'm sure that he. I'm sure that he made that
part
request.
y'all brag about,
I'm
he
sure
gets
that Nick
his head.
Saban considered it and he put him in. And like Doug
When you
pointed
say
out,
y'all, you're talking about Alabama Nation, and we're getting blamed for
Yeah.
things that other Alabama people
I
have said.
hadn't even looked at Alabama.
we
Nation
called
today.
we called Nick Saban 30
I just
minutes.
mean Alabama fans in general.
Yeah, we called Nick Saban 30 minutes before the game and talked to him about what he should do in that game. It's that's how we roll here at Alabama Nation. It's part of the process. Nick Saban talks about it all the motherfucking time.
Well, what I'm saying is nobody tells Nick Saban what to do. It doesn't matter what the players say.
I think Miss
Those
Terry
second
does.
and third string
Yeah.
players want to play too. They all want to play, but it's the coach's decision. And I'm sorry, they shouldn't have played him. They shouldn't have played him. He risked too much. You
I mean,
telling me
anytime
that-
there's an injury, can you
What
not
you
say
do
this?
Between that's so fucking retarded and gay, dude. You're like a little child on Facebook
He
with
was
a
saying
new
that
toy,
to you.
dude.
He ain't saying that to me.
That's fine.
Make that audience, y'all understand that? He was telling Shannon Madden that, not this Shannon.
No, he was actually telling me that.
He was telling Doug that. I had nothing to do with it.
He was
asshole.
talking to me like I was me
But
and
he
Shannon.
really meant that for Shannon.
You know, we get that a lot though. For some of our haters, they don't differentiate between you and I. They just like you and I are
Dad
like
or Paul?
one entity.
Paul, go. Doug!
Yeah,
Doug!
yeah.
Doug! You ever heard Paul Garner on the show, Shannon?
I don't think I have.
You haven't heard Paul Garner's segment with JPC? Oh my God! Speaking of YouTube, anybody that as soon as you get done listening to this needs to go back and listen to that podcast because it's fucking amazing. It's amazing. If you've ever had any kind of run-ins with Jesse Paul Clark or seen him in groups, and I know you have, Jesse's been pretty active for a long time, and he's trolled all of the best. But go and listen to that segment.
Who's trolled all the best?
Jesse Paul Clark, JPC.
That dude is a loser.
Yeah,
loser.
You know him?
Hey, you need to listen to that segment because that's exactly right there is the personification of when he lost.
But can I say something real quick?
I bury my money in mason jars, motherfucker.
Yeah, but that wasn't him. That was Paul. That said
Yeah,
that.
it was.
Um,
He whooped that ass too.
anytime there's an injury, you can always say. I mean, this was still in the first. It's not like this was the second half.
You know what I love about
always say that it shouldn't have been
this
out there.
segment?
What?
That we're having a conversation with an LSU fan,
Yeah.
number one team in the nation,
And
right
we have
now.
not mentioned LSU once.
Not talked about LSU one minute at all.
Well-
It's been a great segment.
Well, we're going to make time for LSU, and I'm not going to hang
No,
up.
hop back up on
Don't
Daddy
tell me
Saban's
later,
lap and keep riding.
YouTube
That's
cut you
awesome.
off. YouTube cut you off. No, this is a good segment.
No, YouTube
I
YouTube
think
is
it's
not
still
cutting us off tonight. With this, we're gonna rock this segment all the way until the bitter end.
All I'm saying is, Doug, I understand what you're saying. Nobody can foresee the future, okay? But
But
the point is,
they should have seen the future though, right?
no, the point is,
Uh-huh.
when you have an injury and you're not 100%,
Yeah.
he's not going to be as fast. He's not going to be. He's not 100%.
It still has nothing to do with the injury. Did he?
Yes, it does.
No,
yes,
it
it does. He
Why?
cannot run. He couldn't run or get away. I could tell watching him. He
You
played
could.
well.
If you
yeah, he
look
made
at that
some
hit,
touchdowns.
it does not look like he's going to come. He's going to get a dislocated
He was
hip from it.
limping off the field. After
We're
the
speaking
LSU
with
game
NFL
a week
scout
ago.
Shannon Russell right now about the Tua Tagovailoa.
Point is,
Injury.
they even said on the Feinbaum show. Did y'all listen to Feinbaum? Even Feinbaum, he danced around it because he's a Saban lover. He danced around it, but and you're really comprehending what he's saying. He pretty much blamed Coach Saban. Everybody on that show blamed Saban this morning.
You're a
I'm
Feinbaum
telling
fan?
you that I understand why the man did it, but don't sit up here and say, "Oh, Tua's so great. He has a heart. He wanted to play." He felt like he owed Saban that. Okay,
you mean-
y'all paid money?
Ah.
You
to bring
mean
his
tell you
whole
something
family
about-
That's just
to life.
supposition. That's just some shit you made up. And
You want me
heard
to tell you
somewhere.
something that's going to blow
Yeah.
your mind, Shannon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to hear my thoughts on Tua?
That's some guessing and some wishing and some hoping.
I think Tua has actually hurt what Saban does at Alabama, and it's really everything centers around Tua, and it's hurt the team. And I've thought that for several years now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm glad he got hurt. Obviously, I mean, I got a child, so
You know
I
what?
can't
You know,
freaking-
we have seen this happen. Probably, we've seen this happen with a few teams. Maybe Oklahoma with Baker Mayfield,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Well, they depend on the quarterback for everything.
Yeah, where it's pretty much everything centered around the quarterback, just keeping those
Alabama's got
quarterbacks
too much
running.
talent on that team for that.
Mhm.
Now, do I think that Alabama's going to rebound and go to Auburn
Okay,
and
so
just
now
kill them?
you're
Probably
saying
not.
it's Saban's fault he put him on the field. Is that we can
No,
agree on that now?
no,
No.
Okay.
Unrelated. I just think that
Who makes the decisions for the players to get out on the field? The
Landon
players or the
makes
coach?
the decisions.
Landon
but-
Beeman,
Who
hashtag
makes-
fake profiles.
Don't you say it's his decision alone? No, it wasn't.
R.I.P.
Tua-
Sweet Angel.
Tua
Blaha.
said, "Hey, I want to play," but it's still Saban's decision. So yes, he shouldn't have been on the field. He shouldn't have been on the field.
Okay.
Bottom line, he threw away his NFL career. Y'all shouldn't take this lightly.
I
And you know what
definitely
my
don't
mom
think
said?
Saban.
Oh my God! What will we do? Holy shit!
I don't-
Oh my God! His hip is broken. Oh shit! Burns.
I don't.
Well, it is. Right now, it's not looking good. I'm not saying that he can't come back from it.
I'm glad I
But
got that
you
out
got
of my
Bo
system.
Jackson over there who
Saban
never
didn't
came back
force
from
him
it.
onto the field, though, is what I'm trying to tell you. The kid wanted to compete.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He did.
First of all, Saban rips their ass every minute. He gets in their heads. I hear Alabama fans say, he gets in their heads. It's psychological. Let me tell you something.
I
he
think
don't
I'm
let
listening
his
to that right
assistant
now.
Coaches he don't let his assistant coaches.
Did you
tell him
pick
what to
those
do and
vibes
what
up when you were sitting on his toilet?
Yes.
Nick Saban should have told him to sit the bench. Bottom line. And you know what? All I'm saying is this.
In hindsight, absolutely, but in foresight, I'm not
Why
sure.
can't y'all ever criticize him though? It drives me insane. It's almost like
Oh,
a
I
Jim
can-
Jones-
Because
Let me
the
just
man
hear me
is
out.
a fucking
Why
god.
y'all-
You know it.
I
I know it. The
Saban.
American people know it. Thank you very
Shannon,
much.
I can criticize Saban, and I will criticize Saban when he needs it, but this
The
is
man's
not Saban's
perfect. Y'all
fault.
treat him like he's Jesus. Y'all treat him like he's Jesus.
Right.
No, he's God. God was actually, I think God is like, it's
Y'all
like
do.
one
Y'all
level
drink the
above
Kool-Aid.
Jesus, right?
Y'all drink the
In the
Kool-Aid.
hierarchy.
Seriously.
All right.
There's Bama fans
It depends
that
on
get
the-
We
mad.
the
celebrate
doctor.
with that Kool-Aid year in and year out. When
Let me
we
tell you something. When you don't criticize,
get the Kool-Aid and we
criticize
put it up somewhere safe and somewhere cold,
He
so
has
when
too
we
much
win the
power. He
national
has too much
championship,
power.
we can all take it out and share it together.
Shannon, listen to me. I'm being serious.
I am too.
I respect Nick Saban. I like. It's got nothing to do with that.
I
But
know
the
you
man-
you
it's
actually
okay
pooped
to
in the guy's
criticize
toilet.
him.
You
It's
actually went
okay
to
to
Nick
say,
Saban's
"Hey,
bathroom
dude, you
and
shouldn't have put him
got
on the
nude in
field."
his bathroom. If I went to Nick Saban's bathroom right now, I would definitely masturbate in it. No
We're
two
not
ways
talking
around
about
it.
that. Doug,
I am.
Yes.
Doug,
You
I'm
may
talking
not be
Doug
talking
and
about
Susie.
that, but I most certainly
Anyway,
am.
Doug,
Yeah.
we're not talking to Shannon right now.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
His
I
microphone's
got the
louder
fucking
than mine.
microphone. So I can mute you
Doug,
right now.
Doug has been a little more critical than you have of Saban. You like want to drink his urine and stuff.
I would drink Nick
Anyway,
Saban's bathwater. I
so-
definitely would. I would.
All I'm saying is, it's
I wouldn't let
okay
him
to
like
say,
come in my
"Hey,
hair or
Saban,
anything like
you
that.
shouldn't have put him in the game. You made a mistake. It's okay to learn from that.
Mm-hmm.
Saban criticizes himself. He's a type A personality. He's a perfectionist, and a perfectionist
Mm-hmm.
they criticize themselves. I guarantee you, he's probably feeling a little bit bad about it.
I think
And
in
he should.
hindsight, it was definitely a bad move, but I can't see.
Woo!
from
Wait
for-
a minute. Make sure y'all record that. Everybody hear that?
Yeah.
Doug just said.
In
what you just said?
hindsight, but any
Saban didn't want
any injury, if you say to yourself, "I could have taken him
Okay,
out
that's
before
all
that
I'm saying.
happened," absolutely, you can always do that in any
Okay,
injury.
there was no
Yogi
reason
Berra once
he
said,
shouldn't have played against
"Hindsight is
LSU, much less
50-50."
Mississippi State. Y'all are not y'all. My opinion, say if you listen, did y'all listen to Feinbaum show today?
No.
You know what they said?
I
You know
listen
what
to
they-
Monday through
Buckets-
Fridays.
Buckets,
It's
Alabama
Sunday.
said-
It's a joke. You're a
Y'all
joke.
also
You're a
create
fucking
bad
idiot,
ones,
dude.
too. You know why we have the playoffs? Because of the LSU Alabama game in 2012. Do you know why? You know what Feinbaum said at the end of his show today?
What?
Go back and listen to it. I'll send it to y'all. He says this definitely
you to
is
tell
a
me
lesson
with your
for
mouth.
college football. This may change college football.
But
Get
it
out of
So
your
I
mom's
don't know if he
fucking
needs- because
face.
But it
and
still
dig in her
doesn't
face.
say anything.
Players?
It still
No.
says nothing about what was going on before the injury happened.
No, it doesn't matter. Did you hear what I just said? He said this
Yeah,
right
we
here.
heard it.
That
It's
means
still,
wake
We
up,
heard it.
Alabama. This is the learning lesson.
but
Pay
this
attention.
injury still has nothing to do with his prior injury. It's a
Doug,
total.
if you had
Doug.
a high ankle sprain, go
Yeah.
ask Tim Tebow how he felt playing on it. and you're not gonna be able to run fast enough. He was not 100%.
Well, thank God.
Yeah, but we
I'm
have
glad
a
now I
dislocated
fucking
hip here. What's that got to
see
do
all
with your ankle?
notifications From your
He was
dumbass, dude.
limping
You're a
off the
fucking
field
moron.
against
Yeah, but what
LSU.
does that have to do with the dislocated hip? That
It has
happened
nothing
when
to do
somebody
with
Been fun
landed on his
trashing
leg.
because you are a piece
Have you
of
ever seen
shit,
an old person?
idiot.
An old person
Get a
that walks.
fucking
Yeah, but
life,
he's
you
not an
bum.
old
They don't
person.
walk straight. They fall easier because their balance is off, or something's wrong with them because of different.
Yeah, he fell several times in the game before then. Somebody landed on him.
Yeah,
It
that
didn't.
happened.
It didn't.
Bloodied his nose in the process.
I've actually seen people pop up from hits just like that.
Because he's weak.
Don't you
and he's
remember?
accident prone.
Do
Yeah,
you
he might be-
hey, don't you remember that time that you hurt your ankle and then you got a bloody nose because of it?
No.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
let me give you an example. And y'all can, I probably shouldn't use myself, but it's just like I've had seizures here recently. They won't let me drive because I had a seizure.
Right.
Okay?
It's because you're a
I
woman.
may not have another seizure for 3 more months. I may could drive better than some of the idiots on the road I see every day.
A blonde-headed
But
woman
the
at that.
fact of the matter is, nobody takes the risk because you're risking other lives. Now, this situation, he was risking his body and his career. It was a stupid move.
It still
Learn
has
from
nothing
it.
to do with the injury that he got.
It's
We
okay
still
to
have not talked
criticize
about
Nick Saban.
LSU.
It's okay. So the
LSU
not
won
perfect.
a
It's,
LSU
they have
won an
absolutely
amazing game the
nothing to
other
do
day.
with one another.
I'm just going to
swear,
talk about
y'all-
LSU while
y'all-
she's
He
talking
did not
about
get
this.
sustained that because he couldn't run fast enough, Shannon. He
Drink the
sustained it
Kool-Aid,
because he
drink
got
the Kool-Aid.
landed on. His leg got landed
We're
on.
all gonna die. Jim Jones, just drink the red Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Drink the red Kool-Aid. Saban's making the.
I mean,
third
Doug, did
Kool-Aid.
you really think this conversation was going to be anything less than what we've received so far?
All right,
I mean,
let's
seriously.
talk about LSU. Y'all want to
No,
talk about LSU?
we're
Hurry
done.
up.
We're out of time. Thank you very much, everybody. We really appreciate y'all joining the show tonight. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Y'all ain't even number in the number 4 of the
Oh,
of the
shit.
playoffs.
We got 5 minutes. Fuck.
So
I want to get some coffee. Just talk about LSU.
we need to
or
talk
whatever. I
about
don't
the number
care.
1 team. I
Yeah.
agree. Let's not talk about
Allowing
Alabama.
a shitty scrub Ole
Let's
Miss
move on
team
to
to
the number
score
1 team,
37
Alabama
points on them.
sucks.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute because I don't
my
know
man.
what
my
makes
man
y'all
Joe,
think
Dane-
that
Dane-
Georgia's not going to run all the way up through y'all. I don't understand that.
Dane,
In essentially a home game at the SEC championship.
You might want to throw Saban off the bridge. I don't know. Because we're going to show you. We're going to win the Heisman. We're going to win the SECCG. We're going to win the Natty. We're going to steal your recruits. And we hope Tua gets better, but we're going on to the winning.
We hope.
We're taking it all.
right.
We're taking it all.
Okay.
I think that LSU
Y'all
is
can't
definitely.
argue with me on that, can you?
Yeah. There's nothing. There's
is
nothing to
Alabama
argue
in the
with it.
playoffs?
It
Yes or
hasn't
no?
happened yet.
Is Alabama going to be in the playoffs? Yes or no?
I don't know. It's not looking good right now. It's really not.
I'm going to tell y'all no. You might as well accept it now.
Because you said no, it's not going to happen.
Shannon Russell. Breaking
Come
news.
on.
Shannon Russell says
Do you
Alabama,
really wanna
there's
go into
no
playoffs
chance in
the way-
hell.
the way
She
they
said
will
that,
make the
she also
playoffs.
said LSU was going to win for like 8 years in a row.
LSU is going to win the national championship.
Let me tell you something. We're going to win it this year before you will. We're going to win it this year before Bama does. How's that going to make you feel? How long has it been since Bama hasn't won 2 years in a row?
Alabama
Oh my
hasn't
God.
won 2 years in a row in a long time.
Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all.
2011,
Look,
2012 is the last time
let me
Bama
tell you
won 2
something.
years in a row.
Even during Alabama games, LSU games, doesn't matter what games. Pornhub
You
is
haven't won
available
back-to-back in the
24/7.
playoffs.
You know that I can jerk off anytime I want to with the convenience and quality of Pornhub. You know they've got shit on there that's
Are we getting paid for this?
1080
y'all talking
pixels.
about Alabama again.
Are we
So
getting
all
paid
I
for
want to
this?
say
Yeah, this
is-
segment is sponsored by Pornhub.
All right.
So it don't matter. It don't matter who's playing what game. Pornhub's still available to me
As
at
long
any
as-
given point in time. If I want to jerk it to a midget porn, I can jerk it to midget
Let me say
porn.
something real quick.
Pornhub makes that
Oh,
happen.
midget porn. Wow. Wow,
Let me say something real quick before we hang up on Shannon.
Yes.
I'm pulling for LSU as long as Alabama still has a shot because Alabama has no shot whatsoever if LSU goes down.
True. Our
Well,
success
then
is
some
not.
Alabama fans are wishing Georgia wins out.
No, I'm not.
No.
No.
Yeah,
If,
but you
if,
have-
I mean,
if
as
Georgia,
a
wins,
fan,
if
yeah.
Georgia-
wins, we still can get in the playoffs.
absolutely, that's
That's
what. If that's my argument. If Georgia beats LSU close, then LSU and Georgia will go in, and Alabama will be sitting on the outside.
I love it. I love it. Say it again. Say it again.
Well, that's what you want. That's what you want to happen.
Yeah,
You sure so don't know
of
that that's
course.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We'll beat you anyway. We'll beat
Perhaps.
you. Y'all think it's going to be a repeat of 2000? 12,
Hmm.
and it's not. First of all, our offense is
And I'm just watching it unfold like you are.
first of all, those were
real
two
time.
explosive defenses, right? LSU and Alabama back in 2011, 2012 season. Those were two explosive defenses.
Mhm.
This year, it's two explosive offenses, but you don't have your key player. So
Still got a
I would
lot.
wanna
Still
go-
got a
if I
lot
were
of
you, I
talent.
would want to go back in the playoffs and get beat again like you did against Clemson.
I don't know. I think that
How now? Wait a minute now, because you've got some really important games coming up with the SEC championship and the eventual playoff.
Hey, how many yards did Ole Miss have on the ground?
Well, that's why I was just fixing to say. How did you?
Oh, good
how did?
God.
No, I mean seriously, y'all allowed 37 points to that Ole Miss
You
squad.
allowed 31. Whoop-de-doo.
So?
We allowed one more
I
touchdown.
know. I
than
mean, that was-
Alabama.
yeah, but how many yards on
Whoop-de-doo.
the ground? Holy shit! What was it, like 400 yards?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It
our
was-
defense needs to shape up, but guess what?
Yeah.
We're still 10-0. Are you? Are
No.
you 10-0?
No, we're not. No, we're not.
It-
But I mean, didn't that
Are
concern you a
number-
little
are
bit
you
with these
ranking
games
top
coming
four
up?
in the CFP poll?
Because
No.
I want to say that Georgia's got a little bit of a running game too.
Yeah.
And a hell of a defense.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
you know what? They won't be able to stop Joe. So that's
don't
just
know.
the way it is.
I don't know. We'll see. That's essentially a home game for Georgia on that one.
Y'all said the same thing against Florida. You said the same thing against
I'm not
Auburn.
pulling for Georgia, so I'm just
No.
going to go ahead and.
No, we need LSU to win. I hate it. I hate. You're never going to hear me say go. You're never going to hear me say it. Just But we have to pull for LSU in this one, like it or not. We're stuck with your fucking.
No, you're not
ass.
pulling for us if you don't say go Tigers. So you
Here's how I do it. Fuck LSU. I hope
Yeah.
they win the rest of the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
games.
They need to win all the rest of their games except when we beat them in the I guess the first round
the
of
salt is real.
the first
salt is
round of
real.
the playoffs.
Somebody-
I guess would that it'd probably be.
Audience, do
Yeah,
you-
that-
do you
that-
We
hear
can
them
sneak in
crying?
at 4 and they're still at 1. So yeah, that's that would work.
Do you have
Let me
anything
give- let
left
me
to
give
say
you
about
another insight
Saban
on
before we hang
Saban,
up on
though.
you?
Yeah.
That way, I'm gonna say one more thing on Saban. One more thing,
Okay.
because y'all seem to not be able to be critical of him at all. So
No.
I'm gonna give y'all one more shot at
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Go
to
ahead.
prove
Go
that,
ahead.
I can be critical against.
Go
my
ahead, say it, and
Saban.
then we'll respond.
Okay.
My King Saban, Lord Saban.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
May he
so
reign forever.
I think the man cannot defend against the passing game. I think he is a genius on the running game, but I think passing game screws him all up, especially if they mix it up and decide to run the ball, pass the ball. That's how you beat Alabama. That's the difference in 2000. And I tried to tell y'all that 2011, 12 season versus
I remember
this year.
when we did that show in
You know, y'all can
2011.
stop the running game. You
I
can't
remember
stop the
exactly
passing
what you
game.
said then.
The game is changing. The game is changing. When you go to a spread, that's why Steve Spurrier was able
He's
to beat
changing.
Saban. When you go to a spread,
Changes
All right, you ready for us to respond? You
I
ready
think,
for it?
I think Saban needs to retire. The game is changing.
Yeah.
The teams get more competitive because he set the bar. For this.
And all that
You
little
know,
clapping
they-
you do in between,
you
that's
know,
so
Bear
fucking
Bryant
retarded and gay, dude. You're like
back
a
then.
little child on Facebook with a new toy, dude.
So, do y'all agree on that?
No. I don't.
Here I go. You ready?
Give me an example of where he's won.
Are you ready for me to go on this?
consecutively.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Give it a big.
Check out Smacking Off the podcast on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, and the College Football Wrap-Up cast, Sundays 9:30 p.m. Eastern.